Hey everybody, what's going on? So in this section, I'm going to show you how you can actually write your LinkedIn messages, and there's going to be two parts to this. Part one is we're going to use the templates that are going to be very similar to the cold email templates, and then part two, we're going to use some more templates that are a little bit more specific towards using the platform LinkedIn specifically. So with that said, let's go ahead and dive in. LinkedIn messages can use the same templates that we talked about in the cold email templates, right? Because the psychology behind why people would take a meeting with you is exactly the same. The medium is just different. The templates that translate really well from cold email to LinkedIn cold messages are the chaining strategy, PSA formula, reference emails, scheduling the meeting and going back and forth. That is the same. And when you follow up with someone on LinkedIn, it's pretty much exactly the same as you would do for email. Almost all of the cold email templates that we talked about do translate onto LinkedIn messages. Now, when we're looking at, let's say, the chaining strategy, right? So this is pretty much the template, an example I gave you before in the previous lesson. And as you can see here, I just kind of squeezed it in a little bit to show you what it would look like on LinkedIn, because on LinkedIn, people aren't opening it up from, let's say, Gmail or their Outlook or something like that. They're looking at your message on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is a little similar to Facebook, where it's like a chat. It's not necessarily it's not like email. It's more of a chat and a dialogue between you and another person. So let's go ahead and go into LinkedIn and I'll give you more examples of how this is going to work. All right, guys. So we are on my LinkedIn page right now. So let's say you want to go after the company Lyft, right? You press Lyft, and then let's say you want to find some employees that work at Lyft. Essentially, when you're on this page, right, and use the filter, find the person you're looking for, you're going to press connect. So you can actually just send a connection request like this, or you can add a note here. And here, again, what you can do is you can either say like, hey, Sally, I'm a really big fan of Lyft's marketing campaigns, and I thought it would be great to connect with you here. And then you send that, and then people will accept it. Now, you can also put your entire pitch in right here if you wanted to. So if you want to put your entire chaining strategy template in here as the message that people will get when they see your connection request, you can also do that as well. So both of them do work. You just want to see what works best for your business and then do the one that gets the best conversion rate for your sale. So to give you an example, right? Like when I go into, let's say, my connection request. So right now I got a lot of connection requests, and as you can see here, the people, when it looks like this, and it just says ignore and accept, these are the people that send me a connection request and they didn't write any message, right? They just sent it and I can accept. But the question that you have to think about is when you send someone a connection request, you don't really know what they're about, right? It says their name and this title over here and their picture, but I'm not sure what they want when they're connecting with me. So that's why in certain situations, let's say this person is reaching out to me because he is wondering if I need help with some migration services, which I don't. And he's basically putting in his pitch right here so I can accept it and respond, or I can just respond to him right here. So it's really up to you and what you want to do. If you want to connect with them first, write a little message if you want, and then from there, send your pitch after they connect with you. Or if you just want to send it all in one go, that works fine. It just depends on if you want to wait for them to accept your connection request, or if you just want to put it all in right here and see if they respond. So again, it's up to you. And so when we go back into the chaining strategy, if you do send the connection request and this template all at the same time, so you could say, hey, James, and you put something in here that says, great connecting with you on LinkedIn. Now, I'm writing in hopes of finding the appropriate person who handles sales. So essentially, you want to just add one little sentence at the top, depending on the context. If they connected with you and then you're writing this message, then you would put great connecting with you here. Now, if you are sending the entire thing as a connection request, then you would say, hey, James, thought it would be great to connect with you here. Now, I'm writing in hopes of finding the appropriate person, right? So again, you're just adding the little context on the first sentence. It's the same with the PSA formula where it's like, hey, Sarah, thanks for connecting with me on LinkedIn. Now I noticed your website, blah, 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 right? Same exact thing, except you're adding a little reference. And so reference email, same thing. It's like, hey, Sarah, great connecting with you on LinkedIn here. Now, I want to congratulate you on making the Inc. 1000 list. It must be exciting to be growing at such a fast pace. And then you go into the pitch. So essentially, everything here is the same. You're just adding that little sentence to provide context that you're connecting with them on LinkedIn. And then when they respond, you're going to do it the exact same process that you're going through when you are sending the cold emails, asking for their schedule, and then they're going to give you a time, and then you send them a calendar invite and all those things, right? And it's easy to send them a calendar invite, even if you don't know their email from LinkedIn, because you can use something like hunter.io to put in their name, put in their company, and then it's going to give you their email right there. And then you can send the calendar invite to that email address. That's pretty much it when it comes to using the cold email templates and applying them into LinkedIn. LinkedIn, literally it's the exact same thing, except the beginning is different. You're connecting with them, or you're sending the pitch with the connection request, and then you're putting that little context, and that is it. So with that said, that's everything we have to cover when it comes to using your cold email templates and translating them onto LinkedIn. And then in the next section, we're going to show you something different, where we're going to use some specific LinkedIn features to start off your LinkedIn messages. So with that said, let's go ahead and dive into the next lesson.